Susadai, and welcome to the Khmerican podcast. To help support our work, please visit Cambo Fresh Clothing, which has created a Khmer-inspired line of urban fashion. To show your Cambodian-American pride and support Khmerican.com, go to cambofresh.com and use code Khmerican at checkout. I'm Will Koenig, author of At Home on the Mekong, and I'm interviewing Daron Ker, the director of Rice Field of Dreams. For those who haven't had a chance to see it yet, can you tell us a little bit about the film?
Yeah, well, Rice Field of Dreams is a film about the Cambodian First National Baseball Team. You know, I found out about the Cambodia First National Baseball Team through this gentleman back in Alabama, Joe Cook, and I found it really fascinating, that Cambodia, number one, has a baseball team, and number two, they're competing for the country for the first time. So basically I started giving Joe Cook a phone call and see where everybody's at. Number one, to see if it's for real, if there is baseball being played in Cambodia, because baseball is one of my favorite sport of all time, and I thought I could do something to contribute to Cambodia and the baseball team. So basically, in a nutshell, Rice Field of Dreams is about the Cambodia First National Team when they went to compete for the country for the first time in Thailand.
Baseball's not really a common sport in Cambodia. Do you think a lot of Cambodian Americans follow baseball, though?
I don't know if they're even in the level to compete yet, but I know they're trying to build the team and introduce that sport in Cambodia. And to me, for what they've done, just a recent, development in baseball, I think it's incredible. I think these kids, I think baseball is going to last longer than anybody expected, in Cambodia. And as far as the Cambodian-American are interested in Cambodia baseball, I think they should be. It's a great sport. Kids really enjoy it over there, and so, my goal is to spread this film around, and hopefully Major League Baseball and everybody else would kind of start seeing, like, hey, what Cambodia can play. There could be a development there that can grow.
You've started screening this in Southern California so far. What has been the response among Cambodian Americans to the film?
Oh, it's been overwhelming. Response has been great. I mean, we screened it during Cambodia New Year's last year, and, I was overwhelmed by the response of the community, not just Cambodian, but Americans as well. How much they enjoy the movie, and it's heartwarming. And I didn't really focus on what happened to our country. I would give them a glimpse of it, but it's the journey, and hope for tomorrow that really inspires not just Cambodian American kids, but also American audience as well. I don't think these kids, this new generation, really totally understand what really happened in Cambodia. And so I touch a little bit on that, but mostly it's a positive side. It's about the spirit of baseball and the healing process that we can use baseball and anything else that helps the kids and everything to pursue the dreams to move forward, And I think with our generation right now, we need to be more proactive to help the kids in Cambodia to understand the value of dreams and hopes, I felt like Rice Field of Dreams is, could be a start for Cambodian American to start seeing, it's just by watching this film and start seeing what we can do to help the kids over there.
You said it started with a phone call to Joe Cook in Alabama. How long did it take you to film?
It was a year of work, editing and everything. But it took me 2.5 years to develop the story with Joe Cook. And, I felt like the story wasn't there when I first started to talk to Joe. But, one day he called me and told me, hey, we're finally forming a team, and Major League Baseball is supporting us. We're really going to go play this in Thailand. And I found a hook that I needed to make this film. So that's when I started developing the concept, the ideas, and how I should see this film through. So basically, it's 3 years of just building a relationship with Joe Cook and getting to understand what I'm about to do. And like I said, once the team was formed, I felt like that there's a story there. And then, I decided to form my crew and head to Cambodia to make this film.
Did you have any difficulties filming in Cambodia and Thailand?
I was lucky because I shot a movie before called I Ride. It takes you to a biker culture, which is a rough culture, and so from that film, I was able to make adjustment to shoot in Cambodia and Thailand. But as far as difficulty, yeah, because I mean, we're there not knowing the country and not knowing the rules and everything. The environment, what we eat, it was just a different form of difficulty. I mean, when you're making a movie, especially a documentary film, you're just hoping for the best. You're out there fishing for information and where you got to switch up, but most importantly, it's eating habits. It's like you're afraid to eat anywhere because you don't want to get sick, and if you get sick, you're done. You won't have a film. And the one thing I remember was when we were driving on the bus, the Cambodian national team, well on the way to Thailand, and some guy tried to jack our bus. Some Cambodian guy, he came in, and started screaming and stuff, and it was crazy, because he had a gun and everything. He could have start shooting and we'll all be gone. But I guess it was just nerve-wracking because here you go, we're here shooting some B-roll inside the bus, and next thing you know, this guy came in and tried to try to rob the bus, and then I guess the driver and him started having a shouting match, and we were like, oh my God, what's going on here? That was the scary part, and and just that travel alone, just putting yourself in harm's way, and for 25 days of shooting intensely, and so yeah, and it was a great experience for me and the crew, but I think I lost like over 10 pounds just from being there for that amount of time, and it was definitely rewarding at the end.
So you'd say this was more dangerous than shooting a documentary about bikers in the U.S.?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing with making a film, I Ride here, it's like if I missed something, I could always go back and reshoot some stuff that I needed. Over there, I just like, if I miss something, I'm not going to have that opportunity to go back and shoot it again, do any pickup shots or anything. So, and I knew that going into it to where, every day counts. So, at the end of the day, it brought me back to my homeland, my roots, my country, to see the smile of these kids, and, because it's also my story built into the film as well, because this is the first time me going back home, So, yeah, spiritually, mentally, physically, everything was involved in making a Rice Field of Dreams.
How did it affect you to go back and see your homeland for the first time? I mean, how long ago was it that you were forced to leave?
Oh, it was, almost 30 years. I came when I was young to America, but it really had an effect on me because I did not know, I couldn't grasp what really happened to Cambodia until I got there. I was a little overwhelmed by everything. I just did not know the cause and effect that happened, during the Khmer Rouge, and these homeless kids and just poverty, and I never really see that. It was hard for me to adjust when I got there, and also I wanted to make a good film so I could introduce and show the kids over here what really happened over there, that you have it good here. So through film, I think I could connect the level with American Cambodian here and have them watch the movie and see what our country been through and how they live over there. I mean, we spent 2 days just looking for fish, and they're cooking it and eating it and stuff like that. And that's what we had to eat off, because there's really no market or anything. It's fascinating, for me, but at the same time, there's something that's really cool for me as, when I was there. When I came back, I really appreciate who I am and what I've been through and all that good stuff. I mean, sometimes we just forget where we come from, and then we take everything for granted here. And when I got over there, I learned how to appreciate where I come from and what I'm doing now. It's good for me. I mean, I find it really, blessed just to be over there and to help Cambodia, and also to make a good film so where, we could both, American and Cambodia audience can relate to the story.
Do you plan on making other films about either Cambodia or the Cambodian experience?
I'm supposed to go into pre-production in Cambodia right now for my next narrative feature titled Holiday in Cambodia. Right now, we're just waiting in the wing to see what the investor wants to do, when they're going to come up with the finance, and then we're ready to go to make this film.
What's Holiday in Cambodia going to be about? Any relation to the Dead Kennedys song?
No, actually, it's a film about a kid coming here from the refugee, growing up in Long Beach, and he got he's gotten in a little trouble, and he gets deported back home. It's based off a story that I read a long time ago about the Cambodian gangbangers, kids getting deported back home and can never come back to see their family. And it really touched me. And so 10 years ago, I found that article and started developing the script. And, meanwhile, I was in college. Finally, after 2007, I was able to connect with the writer, a few screenwriter, and finish the script. Hopefully, I get a chance to make this film. It'll be the first film that I'm making that involves the Hollywood team, basically. It would be exciting, if I get to do this film. Just another film that I wanted to do. Instead of documentary, it'd be a narrative to just introduce Cambodia to the world.
While people are waiting for your next film, where can they see Rice Field of Dreams?
So Rice Field of Dreams is going to be released on Film Buff, probably in April, May, via online. But meanwhile, I'm working on an agreement with Grassroots Entertainment to release it in 10 cities across the U.S. So that's where we're at right now. For sure, in April, you would find Rice Field of Dreams and I Ride on Film Buff.
Is that an online service?
They're the biggest distributors as far as content for online. And, like there'll be a Cinema Now, Amazon VOD, YouTube, iTunes, Netflix, all that stuff.
Excellent.
But I encourage people to go watch it in the theaters, really. It's a fun experience to see Rice Field of Dreams in theaters than it is. It'd be great to fill up the theaters with Cambodian Americans, and it's also a vehicle for Holiday in Cambodia. We're going to promote Holiday in conjunction with Rice Field, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, if people want more information on where they can see Rice Field of Dreams or to keep track on your future projects, where should they go?
They should go to waterbuffalopictures.com. It's www.waterbuffalopics.com, and I'll keep everyone informed about me, about Rice Field of Dreams, and my future projects. And we're also going to have a merch store to where kids or parents or adults could buy Rice Field of Dreams shirts. All that good stuff is coming up soon at Water Buffalo Pictures website.
That's all for this podcast. For the latest news about what is happening in the Cambodian American community, go to Khmerican.com. Theme music courtesy of Bo Chan Hui. For more information, go to bochanmusic.com.
Survive.